We're doing a tier list ranking the best Jews of all time. Now, what's the ranking? What classifies a good Jew? God, I feel that. Wow. This was a way better idea in my head than out loud. Even just saying out loud what makes a good Jew, that's kind of wow. It's like something I could see being said by like the German character in the opening scene of Inglorious Bastards. Okay, so let's pretend like Nazis don't exist. Let's pretend like the Holocaust didn't happen, and let's just pretend like Jews are like quirky, like corner of the earth. Okay, so theoretically speaking, how would we determine what is the best Jew? Well, we're gonna take in a few counts. Firstly, controversy. Is this Jewish person linked with a lot of controversies that would make it kind of weird for me to hang out with them? That's another parameter that I keep forgetting to mention. This tier list and probably a lot of the tier lists that I do in the future are gonna be based around like how cool they are to hang out with. So that's why S tier you see over here is just smoke sesh. If I'm comfortable to smoke with you and just chill and hang out, that seems pretty cool. The next tier following that is he's chill for real. Hey man, we don't have to smoke, but like, I get you chill. Mid, just kind of middle of the row. Mid is mid. Needs no further explanation. Nightmare blunt rotation, kind of a spin on the smoke sesh. It honestly should be the lowest tier list, but I have one a little bit that sounds a little bit harsher than that. So your nightmare blunt rotation beneath mid, and beneath nightmare blunt rotation we have insufferable. I mean, the kind of people we're talking about right now is just you can't I can't stand everything they do, everything about them, their face. So sure, we're gonna take in like I guess politics and like controversies and things like that. But a lot of it's just gonna be like vibes based and like kind of what I've seen them in. Okay, so we'll just keep people at mid. This isn't a reflection of how I feel about them, but it's more or less just a placeholder. So let's get into the first Jew. Okay, we're coming out swinging. Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, I really wish Netanyahu wasn't like spearheading like one of the worst genocides we've ever seen ever. Cause God, he'd be such an adorable like old little man. Sometimes I see him like, did he see that clip? And he was like, "Oh, you guys don't have regulations, right?" Like he was on a podcast and he was like, "You guys don't have regulations, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, we do. There's certain things that we can't say. There are certain groups of people that we can't talk about." He was like, "What? This is a podcast. What regulations do you have?" It was so cute. I love him. Um, but yeah, I mean, he is like horror. Like, we're just seeing just atrocities on the globe. Um, there really isn't insuffer. I guess insufferable's a good place for him, but if I had to make a new tier list, or a new spot, I would make Demon. Okay. Well, let's just get them out the way. These seem to be some really popular Jews right now. The next Jew that we have lined up is Jeffrey Epstein. The famous financier. Um, because I'm not that. I don't know. I tapped out of the whole Epstein stuff, so I don't really remember how bad it was. So I'm like, he was like, But like just combing through it in my mind, like just the fact of even having an island, you needed your own island to do some of your debauchery. Like that is like, it makes me quease. So yeah, actually insufferable. These guys actually should be demons. Insufferable's for like, I don't know, just like Amy Schumer or something. Yeah, Insufferable's for Adam Sandler. Now, unfortunately, because we have two demons at Insufferable, we can't put Adam Sandler at the same tier as them, because out of context, it just looks insane. Um, Honestly, that probably is a nightmare blunt rotation. Imagine him like you start smoking with him, And like he's like, yeah, I was like, that reminds me of this time in 2014 when I was working on the set of Jack and Jill, and they needed me to be Jill, and I was like, oh, I'll do a Jill voice like this, and they were like, no, we need you to do more. So I was like, oh my god, I'll do that, and he's like doing the Adam Sandler like, I'm in it, and then he's doing that, but I'm a little payment boy. Oh my god. And I know he's probably a real human being outside of all of that, but the fact that that's the peak of his comedy, that is what's earning him like $100 million in Hollywood, um, leaves me scared about like what kind of comedy I would get from a high Adam Sandler. Seth Rogen, uh, really isn't much of a conversation to be honest. I mean, he almost invented this spot of the tier list. I have to smoke with Seth Rogen. Next, Jew and Frank. Um, yeah, guys. Listen. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I'd want to smoke with Anne Frank because I think she's like 12, so that would probably suck. I don't know of any controversies with her. She was probably pretty chill. To be honest, I never even read her diary. It was never like mandated. I don't even know how I know about her for real. I think she's just that iconic, but I don't. I don't. I guess you don't really know about like World War II and the horrors of the concentration camp, without at least briefly dusting up on like the lore of Anne Frank. So I'll put her at He Chill for real, even though she's a she. Okay, guys. So let's go to the next Jew. We're just gonna scroll in the next Jew. All right. To be honest, I'm not familiar with this Jew. Um. Okay, here. Let me do some research. Okay. Okay. So I'm not seeing much in the way for like controversies. Apparently, this name is G Jez Juz Juses Christ. I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen a name like that. Um, yeah, not a lot of controversies on his record. Apparently he claimed to be the son of God once. Um, really not sure what that was about. Um, there's also been a moment of him walking on water, but no one has the clip. I can't find the clip. Let me check Twitter. Yeah, I'm not finding anything on Twitter. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to move on and keep him at mid. I don't really know too much about him. Peace and love, though. He seems cool. Okay, the next Jew that we have is Drake, Aubrey Drake Graham. Okay, an alleged pedophile, Canadian. Where did the Canadian come from, boy? What do I say about Drake, man? What the hell do you want me to say about Drake? I can't put him at an insufferable. Can I keep him at mid? Nah, every time I'm like, yo, what's so wrong with Drake? I think back to that fucking like clip of him on stage, that grown ass man fucking kissing a 17-year-old, and he's like, "Oh, what? I didn't know you were 17. I just love how your boobs feel on my chest." Like, yeah, that was I don't know how he came back from that. I might put him at insufferable. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of wars and rumors of wars. You get what I mean? Um, but like compared to Epstein and this fucking like genocidal fucking war criminal, um, I really think I just gotta put Drake at like Nightmare Blunt rotation. Steven Spielberg, famous director. Does he need any introduction? Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., Disclosure Day. I don't know if that's gonna be good. Um, there's a bunch of Ready Player One. Damn, that sucked. To be honest, like I don't like his movies. There isn't a single movie that I just mentioned that I'm like, yo, that movie was so dope. But they all made like billions of dollars, and everybody knows them, and everybody owns a copy in their basement, like a fucking VHS copy. So I can't argue with him that much for being a classic director. I'm just not personally a fan. There's never been a movie, a scene, or an image by him that's like moved me emotionally in any way. Um, I can't think of any controversies, so I'll probably put him at Heat Chill for real. All right, Sasha Baron Cohen. Okay, let's get it. Um, whoa. All right. If I put Steven Spielberg at Heat Chill for real, and I don't even like care for his movies, if I ever watch E.T. again, I'll genuinely will feel like I'm wasting vital time of my life. Um, but if I watch Borat or Bruno or The Dictator again, I'll be like, yeah, this is excellent. This is so funny. It still holds up. Um, so on that note, I'm gonna put him at Smoke Sesh. I think we'll have a really good smoke session together. I think we'll have a really good smoke. Okay, Albert Einstein. Um, to be honest, I would want to smoke with Albert Einstein to just talk to like if he came back now and just talk like not I'm going back to his time now. He comes to my time. Um, and I'm like, "Yo, bro, like was the earth really flat?" You get me? Like there are so many flat earthers who will use Albert Einstein and be like, "Oh, well, Einstein said that there's no proof that the earth is spinning." Um, it's so silly. I would just love to like show him modern science and see where he goes from there, or if he's like, no, that's silly because this, and that, and he like disproves it and gives flat earthers a working eclipse model. That's what I'm looking for in my Jews. If you guys can't provide anything for me, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest with you. I'm taking Sasha Baron Cohen off Smoke Sesh. Okay. Um, who's this guy? Jeff Goldblum. I love Jeff Goldblum. He just reeks of confidence. He's so sure of himself and his skin. I'll be honest. Modern Jeff Goldblum doesn't really tickle my fancy that much. But the modern Jeff Goldblum is like a parody of himself. Even thinking about it, I'm just getting kind of bored. I might even put him at Nightmare Blunt rotation. Zuck. Why do I want to put him at Smoke Sesh too? Here's the thing. I love Zuckerberg. I don't know if this is controversial. It probably is. I know that like Facebook sucks, Meta sucks, data sucks. All that sucks. But just the tirade online of people actually saying, like legitimately saying, dude, this guy is not a human, like he's a reptile, he's a fucking robot. That's so insensitive. You don't know what he's going through. What if he's like severely autistic, man? Like that's actually insane. Saying this guy's a robot is insane. I would love to smoke with him and just acts like, yo, what's going on? You know, how do you honestly feel about hearing those things? How does it honestly make you feel? I would love to smoke with him and play therapist. I wouldn't talk a lot. I would kind of just let him talk. And I would only stop him if we just start talking about like Facebook and like selling money to China. It doesn't I don't care. Um the other Zuckerberg. um I hate this guy, man. I hate him. I hate him. I don't even want to talk about him for much longer. I just hate him. Seth Green. I like Seth Green. I'd only want to do Smoke Sesh if he does the Chris voice the entire time. And I think as a respected adult, he probably would not want to do that for the entire time. But if he's high enough, maybe. So I will probably put him at the top of Heat Chill for real. Sam Raimi. Ah, yes. Smoke Sesh. Dude, screw Flat Earth. Screw everything else. Please, please, can I get just raw footage of behind the scenes of you working on the Evil Dead 2? Can I get the original script with your notes on it? Can I get like Bruce Campbell's audition tapes? Like, I don't know. I just anything to get me closer in that world and in his mind. Um I love Sam Raimi. I mean every head must bow, every tongue must confess. The goat. Andy Kaufman. More like Andy Softman. Um, you know what's funny? I watch Andy Kaufman, and I'm like, this isn't very terribly funny. I'm not like rolling around on the floor, but the commitment to the bit and like how like how good he was at, I guess, acting. It's very impressive. It's honestly to be studied. So I might put him at He Chill. But if he doesn't break character, and especially because I don't think it's that funny, um, I'm probably gonna put him at Nightmare Blunt Rotation. Steven Seagal. Um, we're gonna have to put someone who isn't like a child predator or someone who kills children. Um, we're gonna have to put someone else up there to switch up Insufferable, and I think Steven Seagal earns that spot. Pretending to create a new form of martial arts, corny. He's probably sitting down in that image. He sits down all the time. He doesn't really stand. It's odd being an action star and not standing. He doesn't stand in his movies, but he'll stand for Russia. That's very weird. He has a lot of like interviews where he just goes off the cuff, where he's like, "We should support Trump and we should support Vladimir Putin," and like, he's dead serious. So yeah, I guess that is also related to politics. BJ Novak, I hate his face. I hate his face. I hate his face. I hate his face. There's not. I don't know anything about him. I hate his face. This is a good one. Gene Simmons from Kiss. Haha, just kidding. This is Howard Stern from the Howard Stern show. Gene Simmons is Jewish though. Isn't that weird? Where I'm about to put Howard Stern is more controversial than the concept of me making a tier list ranking Jews. I'm honestly. Are you guys ready for this? I'm putting Howard Stern up there. That high. Yeah. Listen, let me be let me be choosy about my words before someone says, "Well, actually, Howard Stern was on record for beating his wife and I." Okay, guys. Howard Stern has brought some of the hardest laughs of my entire life. He's made my stomach hurt, my face twist up, my eyes tear. Um, he just had such a good show and such like unbelievable characters on the show. And even it's not even just like he was in like a circus and there were just a bunch of freak shows around him and he's like, "Hey, look at this. Hey, look at that." No, he was like so off the cuff funny and on his like feet all the time. He was hilarious. Um and he just like he was brutal and he's terrible. He is a bad person. Even watching the show as a kid and even watching the show now or listening. I guess you can watch. I really listen. Um it's like it's it's I've always knew that it was a problem, you know, that this was like problematic and some of the names he was calling people was a little you know, how do you get on board with that kind of thing? But to tell you the truth, I he's just like he's like your racist uncle that like you give a few beers and you're like, "Ah, did you just say that? Nah. You're wild." Um and he's like the king of that and I would really love to see it in person, truly. And keep in mind, guys, everyone up here is like off camera. Like I'm not talking to Mark Zuckerberg in front of like 100,000 people for a TED talk, or like you know, we're smoking in my car. Me, Howard Stern, me, Albert Einstein, me, Seth Rogen. We're all smoking in my car. No cameras. Howard Stern was a demon with cameras on. Imagine how insane he'd be with cameras off. Gal Gadot. You know what's funny about Gal Gadot? Me and I think maybe a few other people. I don't know. I'm just kind of projecting. I'll just say for me at least. I always looked at her and I was like, "Oh, look at this like beautiful like Colombian, Peruvian um woman." But no, she's Israeli. She's from Israel. She's as Jew as they get. She sucks. Okay, her acting sucks. Her personality's phony. It's all been like you know, shoehorned in through like a PR team. Um, I mean, all these people have phony person. Not all these people. Let's be honest. But Gal Gadot has the most like sanitized, you know, like corporate personality I think you could ever come across. Her acting is wooden. I get, guys, she's hot, but come on, we couldn't have found a hot woman who can act? Seriously? Kalel, no! I thought she was Mexican. And I'm blanking right now. Um, but there was a moment in time where the world was down bad, you know, we really needed a guiding light. I think it was the pandemic, maybe the BLM riots. Um, Maybe it was kind of the whole, you know, conflicts in the Middle East kind of stuff going on, that she felt like stepping in. And she, no joke, got on a Zoom call and sung Imagine. It was insane. Like John Lennon's Imagine. Imagine all the people. That thing. I just sung it like David Bowie, by the way. Yeah, I know some of you guys were like, "Hey, was that David Bowie?" No, that was me. She sung that song thinking that it would change the tide of the world or do anything. Do anything. Get a like. Yeah, just tone deaf. A lot of the things I hate about a celebrity in general, especially an actor, actress. Um, where do I put? I'm putting her in Nightmare Blunt rotation because I'd still want to smoke, because you know where that can lead. You're weird. Leave me alone. All right, this seems to be the last Jew on our list. Who's it gonna be? I don't know. I'm curious. Oh, all right, Jack Kirby. I would want to talk to him and just kind of pick his mind and just be like, dude, can you like control my hands? Show me how you draw eyes. I was trying so hard not to go on a Google tangent, but I'll go for Jack Kirby.
Every time I draw, every single time I draw, fuck you, AI overview. Every single time I draw, I try to get the Jack Kirby eyes, and every single time I fail. I don't know how he does it. Every single time I try, and every single time I fail. Do I just have to like copy it verbatim? He's so good. I don't know, man. I need him to just sit down with me and guide my hand and be like, listen, this is how you draw eyes. It's so cool. Look at that like little kind of cliff thing, I guess you call the fur in the brow. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's so cool, dude. He has a one of a kind style. I love his earlier stuff. Where it kind of looks goofy. I think his lady's face kind of looks goofy, but it's just like it's so sick.
So that was my Jew tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed.